Well, there's no hiding it now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the NAIAFBALL live show. We are waiting on John Cooper. So, what I want you to do in the interim is drop me some comments, ask me some questions. I can comment on almost every team. Forgive the water tonight. I'm battling some allergies, so I will be sipping on that water hard tonight. Yeah, it is water. So leave me a comment. Let's talk some teams. Let's wait for John Cooper to get here. Can't wait to talk some NAIA football. If y'all don't know, over on Instagram, before the show, about 15 minutes before we go live, I do a pre-show here. Just take a ton of questions. All right, thoughts on Kansas Wesleyan's win over Bethel? That's a gritty win, and that's a huge winning streak for Kansas Wesleyan. Really, Bethel had no true answer. Sure, 6.3 yards per rush for Bethel is really nice, but they couldn't get rolling on third down, 6 of 15. And they couldn't hit it through the air, and they put the ball on the ground too much for Bethel. Kansas Wesleyan took advantage of that. And to me, it's the mark of a team that's going to make the playoffs. It's the one that doesn't make the mistakes. Had some good games this week. Just some fun matchups. I'm going to take a look over my stuff here. Concordia Roosevelt was a fun low scoring game. Marion St. Francis. Marion had some trouble with St. Francis. How do I feel about Reinhardt football this season? I'm very bullish on Reinhardt football this year. I am planning on being up in Waleska, Georgia, October, I think 23rd, see that Faulkner game. I'm very bullish on Reinhardt. I think they've actually got a solid chance to go far in the playoffs, maybe make it to Durham. I really think that they've got a good shot. Again, guys, if you're just coming in, leave me a comment. We're waiting on John Cooper to get done or with practice. We'll talk about practice. So leave me a comment. We can riff for a little bit. Talk on whatever you like. What do you want to see from NAIAFBALL? We're about to enter a new season of NAIAFBALL. We'll get to that in a second. I want to let John Cooper get here before we talk about that. But we're entering a new season. Let us know what you'd like to see, whether it be some AdCraft USA merch that y'all can buy. If y'all want to see us put up an AdCraft web store, you can buy NAIAFBALL shirt or John likes some koozies. I don't know. I've got 5 or 6 koozies sitting around. Heck yeah. Jonathan, make sure that I have DM us, and so I know how to get a hold of you, and I'll come out and say hi at the tailgate. I would love to. I love doing tailgate stuff and not just sitting around in the press box. Doing this. So yeah, DM us on Twitter so that I have your contact, and I'll make sure to swing by. I love Waleska. I've been there once a few years ago. Just beautiful, and I can't wait to be back up there. Let me know some stuff to do in Waleska and in the surrounding area. Going to be up there for a week taking a vacation. So, go see a football game while I'm up there. Let's talk about some other matchups, ones that aren't going to get top billing. Let's see. Dordt bounces back against Concordia. That's good to see. There's John Cooper. Dickinson State gets off the schneid at Mayville State. Gets a big win. Faulkner takes it to Florida Memorial after an absolutely interminable rain delay. The man, the myth, the legend. Well, Yeah, we're just sitting here riffing right now.
There we go.
So. All right. So we'll get it going. Let's talk about our friends at AgCraft. They're the ones that present our show. This is the NAIAFBALL show presented by AgCraft USA. Guys, they do an incredible job with apparel. They are experts. They handle Olive Grandview's uniforms. They handle their merch. They take care of the customer service. They take care of the shipping. They make life easy for you. Check them out, adcraftusa.com, @adcraft on Twitter, I believe, if I remember correctly. Let's take a look at our scoreboard. We had a heck of a weekend. Had a couple of upsets here that we want to touch on real quick. The first one, just a blowout upset. Indiana Wesleyan takes care of Olivet Nazarene, 52-28. What'd you see in that one, John?
Just the fast start that Indiana Wesleyan got off to. They took nothing for chance there. They were just smothering Olivet Nazarene. 52-28 is not close by any means, but reality at 28, it could have been a lot worse.
It really could have. Olivet Nazarene got a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter after it was 52-14. One of the big things that I noticed was I swore every time I looked at the TV, Devadney Alford was just breaking a run. Might not be a touchdown run, but was breaking an explosive run on Olivet's defense. I was really impressed.
Right,
by
absolutely.
The running game there. And then we had the close upset. Kansas Wesleyan beats Bethel, and the road goes back to Salina for the KCAC.
Absolutely. What a fourth quarter for Kansas Wesleyan to go down there and win that game.
Absolutely. And in a game as close as that, it really comes down to what you do in turnovers. And Kansas Wesleyan just had one fewer turnover than Bethel and managed to keep the ball longer than a triple option team.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Flexbone team. Sorry,
guys.
Absolutely.
For them to control the ball, it was really a short game.
Yeah, we'll get to talking about a little bit of the big performances from that game a little later on. Out west, Eastern Oregon wins a game late against Carroll.
Yeah, offenses couldn't get much going at all on either side, But that's where, the better team wins. They put themselves in position to, win those games. And Eastern had a little bit more success passing than Carroll did. Not by much. Both teams threw for probably under 160 yards, I think. The rushing was abysmal, but the better teams win.
Yeah, 0.9 yards per carry for Eastern, 2.3 for Carroll. It just came down to who wanted it more, as much as I hate that statement. But really is, it really is true. That's exactly what happened there.
Yeah.
So, and then in a game of, you want to talk about low scoring, you've got Concordia and Roosevelt. I swear, Concordia's people to death.
Yeah, absolutely. kind of like the top game we mentioned above, but Concordia just controls the clock. What was the time of possession, Corey?
Time possession, Concordia had, it wasn't that far off, actually. Concordia had it for 32-24. Roosevelt had it for 32-24.
Wow.
Concordia had it for 27-36. So it wasn't it wasn't what you would have
How'd
expected.
Jack Sheridan play? What was his stats?
Jack Sheehan was 22 of 33 for 297, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Ooh.
You know, that Roosevelt rushing game never got going. Concordia really did smother Kevon Johnson, 57 yards on 25 attempts. Look, credit Roosevelt for trying to establish that run game.
Right, absolutely. If you're going to play against Concordia, you got to be able to run against the tackles, between the tackles. Marion and St. Francis have had success doing that up until lately.
And
with last year. So eager to see more of the Mid-East as it gets along. And Roosevelt still, their position there is still wide open in the Midwest with all of it losing.
Yeah.
St. Xavier got a big win. But let's go to our next game. It was the midnight showdown, basically on the East Coast. But so watching two Western teams, you know what I'm saying?
Did you stay up for this one, John?
I stayed up for a little bit there.
I couldn't do it.
Ottawa got off to a hot start, Corey. I believe it was 21-0 to start the game. You might want to check that for me. But it was
24-0.
24-0, Texas Wesleyan had to play back from behind the whole game. I think at one point it was 34-24. 34-24, and then Ottawa just pulled away.
Yeah, I mean, credit Ottawa for getting it done. Those guys over there, Austin McCullough is the man. I mean, even throwing 3 picks, 21 of 44, 3 touchdowns. I'm sure they're going to want to clean some of that up. Chester Riley with 140 yards rushing. Who says you can't be a rushing team from the air raid?
Absolutely. To get deep in the playoffs, everyone has to be a rushing team at some point.
That is no lie. So, guys, we have a huge announcement for y'all. Your ad here is gone. We have a new sponsor, Mommy Bay, Turf Nation, Sportsfield Constructors, manufacturers of some great fields. Not only are they putting in fields like ones that you will be seeing in Miami Gardens at St. Thomas,
beautiful.
They have the play fields or the practice fields for all of those NFL teams. That's 10 teams right there. They have had 4 Super Bowls.
I know there's a lot of high school coaches that watch us. I know there's a lot of trending going on in the high school game. I know my high school just went from grass to turf. Just not having the upkeep anymore. And then when it rains, high school coaches, you get nervous because it's raining, and it's not because of the rain, it's because the conditions of the field. Go ahead and end it, hit our guys up.
Yep, great guys over there. The guys at St. Thomas are just thrilled beyond belief. I told them they can just put some camp chairs out there and just start playing there. That's beautiful.
Right, absolutely.
So let's get to our players of the week. We said we would get back to Kansas Wesleyan. We are. This was a hard one. Kansas Wesleyan's quarterback tossed for 4 dimes against Bethel. We just had.
But when your receiver's getting half the yardage, you got to go with the receiver.
You got to go with the receiver. And Isaiah Randall did throw 2 picks. So we went with Aaron Jenkins. Congratulations. What a great game there for y'all. And then on the defensive side, we don't get to talk about U-Pike a whole lot. But we're talking U-Pike.
U-Pike, especially on the defensive end. U-Pike had a dominating victory against Bluefield. This was the one time I picked against my old offensive coordinator, now head coach Corey Phipps over there at U-Pike. They're one of the few teams that proved me wrong in the pick 'em. And what about those black helmets they're wearing?
Dude,
going from chrome to white to now black?
Man, I'm a sucker for multiple helmets. The NFL is doing a good thing by going multiple helmets. U-Pike knows how to do it. Chrome domes, matte black, white. It is absolutely beautiful. 10 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, and a forced fumble. That's going to get it done.
Right, absolutely. So just great game by Jonathan Morton there against Bluefield.
Let's get to our top 25 media poll. We got some serious shakeups going on. We'll see what we've got going on.
Hey, Corey, I just went live on Twitter here. But, guys, go type in YouTube, get your YouTube app, come join us on the live show. We are about to, do the top 25. But, Corey, give me 1 second before we're going.
All right.
I'm going to get the live going here on Twitter, see if we can get some more people on our YouTube.
Yep.
And before we get that, Corey, let's talk about, before we get to the top 25, were there any teams you're keeping up with, maybe outside of our top 25, that, they're like Cumberland's? Think of Cumberland's.
I really am keeping up with Cumberland's.
And Kentucky. Traditionally, they're a team that's always in the top 25. They're out of it right now, but they're undefeated after that, mediocre COVID season last year.
Yeah, look, everyone tells me that we're sleeping on Cumberland's. Guys, y'all have a couple of games in the next couple weeks that will absolutely wake everybody up from coast to coast and all the ships at sea. You go play Southeastern and you go play Bethel of Tennessee in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
You win those games.
Well,
we're going to talk.
And that was a big thing I want to talk about before our top 25 is that, there's a lot of shakeups still to do. So in the NAIA football, you got it's hard in the regular season because you don't get as many out of conference games due to travel. We know the limitations there. So a lot of these top 25 teams that haven't made it there yet, it's going to work its way out.
Yeah, I'm also keeping an eye on Culver Stockton. Everyone tells me, Culver Stockton. We are definitely keeping our eye on Culver Stockton.
Them and even Peru State, which had a bad game, I think, against Baker.
Yeah.
And, we're keeping eyes on you guys that are just outside this top 25. It's all going to work itself out. I really struggled with my ballot this week. Outside the top 3 teams, it's a struggle. Outside of Lindsey Wilson, Northwestern, Morningside, it's a struggle. And guys that just joined us on Twitter, please, please, please join us on YouTube. We got the full show. This green screen behind me has graphics if you join. So get there. We're going to go ahead and unveil the top 25. Join us on YouTube if you want to see it instead of listening to me the full time.
Yep. We have a tie at 24th. So we have Roosevelt, who drops back a few spots there to tied for 24th. They are tied with Montana Western.
I think that's well deserved, the Roosevelt. I know you look at the one-on-one record, just like St. Xavier we're about to talk about. But if you go play Concordia, top 10 team, and lose by 2 points, we don't believe in moral victories. We don't believe in quality losses. But dadgummit, that's as close as you can get to it. Would love to see that offense improve in their Week 3 game. Montana Western, that's one of the teams we're talking about that was in our top 25 that just made it in there. It works itself out. You get that win against Dickinson State, which is going to be probably most likely a playoff team out of the North Star for so many years in a row. It's going to work itself out.
Absolutely. At 23, you've got St. Xavier. They've got to do some work. They've got to show up. I mean,
it was a surprising 0-1 start, and then they go get that win Saturday.
Yeah,
so
against
very
Siena
good
Heights.
Quality win against Siena Heights.
That's a good team.
And you thought Siena Heights was going to have that breakout year finally. Similar to like how Indiana Wesleyan just got a very quality win within conference, but Siena Heights has fallen quickly 2 losses.
At number 22, we've got St. Thomas. The Bobcats are rising in the polls. They get a bye week this week, but man, they are ripping everybody.
Do they have enough, do you think, to beat Kaiser? I think skill-wise they do. I don't know in the trenches, but they look hot.
The problem is going to be they play Kaiser the week after they play Southeastern.
Right.
So you got to
get up for both weeks.
You got to get up for both weeks. If you beat Southeastern, you get rewarded with Kaiser. And look, if from an outside perspective, I just want you to get all the way to the end, And I want to see what you do against those two teams. That's going to shape my opinion of you for the next few years.
I agree with that. I agree. I think this could be a program-defining year for the program only in their second year.
Absolutely.
St. Thomas.
We've seen that out of the Sun. Kaiser,
Yeah.
did
Just
great
came
things
on the
in their
storm.
second year.
Southeastern was the same way when they started their football program, I believe, in 2014. They expedited the process. It seems like they've taken step back past couple of years, but they expedited the process of success, and it seems like St. Thomas is doing the same formula.
Faulkner at number 21.
The Eagles had Florida Memorial this past week. They won by a decent-sized margin. I thought they were going to put that game a lot quicker away.
I think the rain delay had something to do with that.
Maybe.
Yeah, that was like a 3 or 4 hour rain
Right,
delay.
absolutely.
That was absurd. I mean, look, you've got them in the second quarter. You have a 90-second halftime.
Right.
But yeah, Faulkner, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be live on location in October.
Oh, you're going to the Faulkner Reinhardt game?
You're dang skippy I am.
I might go.
Hey, come on
We
with
should
me.
take our wives for a day trip.
Oh, no. I'm going up for vacay, man.
Oh, y'all are going
We're
vacation.
going vacay
Y'all
up
vacation.
there. Up there like near LJ and stuff, and up there.
Oh, is it in Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Well, then I'm not going.
At number 20. You never know what you're going to get on this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got two friends doing this. We got College of Idaho. The Yotes are, they got a chance. They rose one spot this week, but you've got a chance this week.
Yeah, with Eastern Oregon being the almost heavier favorite now that it got past a few teams, Carroll included. College of Idaho, I think, has to run the table to make the playoffs.
Yeah, just about it.
It sucks to say that in 3 games in, but that's just the truth.
Yeah, just based on who you've played.
Just like number 19 Dordt, for them to make the playoffs this year with already having a loss to Midland, they're going to have to either upset Northwestern or Morningside, and I just don't see it happening.
Not this year.
No,
Not this year.
I think they're going to finish hovering around the 20 to 25 area.
Olivet Nazarene takes the largest drop here. They are down 11 spots to 18.
Almost probably in history of our media poll, wouldn't you think?
I've seen a couple of 11s.
Well, Olivet, they still control their own destiny in the Midwest. That was a good thing of losing to a Mid-East team, if there is anything good about losing, which there's not. But they still control their destiny. They still have a chance to, run the table. It's going to be either them or St. Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, Roseville could have a shot. I mean, it depends on how that 3-way goes.
Right.
At number 17, you've got Avila.
Avila's looking strong out there in the KCAC.
And they're licking their chops now, seeing Bethel take that loss.
Right, absolutely.
And I'm sure they think they've got a shot at Kansas.
Well,
Wesleyan.
the great thing about Bethel and Kansas Wesleyan playing before, Avila has to get a crack out of it. They now have the blueprint of both teams.
Absolutely. At number 16, Ottawa of Arizona comes up a spot after beating Texas Wesleyan, who was receiving votes at the time.
Ottawa is passing the ball like crazy. The McCullough kid is back again.
And running the ball strongly. I mean, a very balanced attack. At number 15, St. Francis takes a couple steps back. They're down 2 spots in our poll. I actually really think that's warranted. I think that's really what well decided by our voters. Look, you played Judson.
Yeah, and it was funny seeing the St. Francis players kind of give us heck about it. But Judson, I've talked to their head coach a little bit. Great guy, and he doesn't take no moral losses, or moral victories, excuse me. He fully expects his team to win each week, and they have been ultra competitive.
You gotta, I mean, if you're Judson, you've got every chance.
If you're
to
going
come
to play
up and bite somebody.
if you're going to play in the Mideast, you can't have that
Ain't no
moral
sissies.
victory mentality.
Ain't no sissies playing in the Mideast. Speaking of the Mideast, Indiana Wesleyan checks in at number 14. They're up 5 spots after.
I'm surprised they didn't move up further. But we'll see.
We will. Bethel takes, drops down 3 spots after their loss there. I think that's warranted. I think that works for them.
Right, absolutely. I mean, and one loss doesn't kill you in the KCAC, but you better end up with just one loss.
Yep. Georgetown at number 12.
You know, I feel like we haven't seen Georgetown play in forever.
I know they had that bye last week. Really we're looking towards the middle of October when they play Lindsey Wilson.
Right.
And then Eastern Oregon at number 11. I'm really impressed with how they look. They've just got to.
Yeah, I just want to see that offense start clicking a little bit more, especially that run game.
They're going to have to this week.
There's no excuse for them not be making over 100 yards rushing.
Right, and they're going to have. If they don't do it this week, they're going to take an L.
All right.
And our top 10, Kansas Wesleyan gets back to what I'm sure the Yoke faithful are saying their rightful place.
Yeah, they've been used to this top 10 success, and I'm sure it was weird for them missing the playoffs last year, but they are in the driver's seat now in the KCAC.
Absolutely, but they've got, it's going to be a tough road to hoe. You've still got to play Obla, you still got to play Southwestern.
What about Baker, taking a big L the week before, now getting Peru State, just mushing them in the ground. So I think like a 33-3 win.
Yep, 33-3.
What a bounce back game for them, especially with Evangel looking kind of iffy over there. The heart of America South is really interesting this year.
They go play at Clark this week.
That'll be a blowout.
Yeah, I expect good things to see out of that. Kaiser comes in at number 8. They are up a spot after a bye week. They've got to get. They have got to get going quicker.
Yeah, that offense has been stalling a little bit. They're still trying to accomplish the tempo stuff. We've only seen them 2 games, and that Lindsey Wilson game, really wanted to see them be at least more competitive than what they showed.
Even in their first game of the season,
right.
It took them a while to get spun up.
Right.
You go play point this week. If you're Kaiser, this is a game in which
you want to put it together and romp point, just like everybody else has done.
Absolutely. Number 7, Concordia of Michigan. They are down a spot.
Which is crazy. They got a top 25 win.
Yeah.
You guys know this is not just me and Corey voting for this. So.
Yeah, so Concordia goes down a spot in this week's poll. Just shows kind of what maybe people are thinking about Roosevelt as well.
Right. Number 6, we have Marion, who is 2-0 in NAIA play. Their one loss comes to a Division II opponent. Solid as ever, I think Marion is just trying to control that line of scrimmage, and we'll see no more about them when we get to San Francisco Bowl, Concordia, Indiana Wesleyan. Their tough schedule is still more to come.
Marion is up 1 spot on the week, and the top 5 remains completely unchanged.
Is there anything really to talk about?
If you're Reinhardt, you just got to make sure that you don't slip up before Faulkner.
I will say Reinhardt looks a lot better this year than they have in years past.
Oh, I agree completely.
And those were solid Reinhardt teams, top 10 S teams.
They're going to have a big game this week against a quality opponent. We'll see how they fare.
For Grandview, they always take care of business in the regular season.
We'll have to see how they do against Evangel. Evangel is the top takeaway team.
I think they crush Evangel.
They should.
Yeah.
They should. Just limit the mistakes and you can do it. Northwestern plays at Concordia of Nebraska.
Blowout.
Morningside gets a bye week. They take back a first place vote from Lindsey Wilson after that 56-7 game against Mount Marty.
And Lindsey Wilson was on a bye this week. I don't see how they don't have all 7 first-place votes, but that's just me. If anybody deserves at least one, it would be Morningside.
Oh, yeah.
Just for historically speaking.
Absolutely. And honestly, you talked about the top 3 being, past top 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Even so, past 2, there seems to be a little gap.
Right. I think so, too.
Hi, this is Sal Angelo from Valley City State, and you're listening to NAIAFBALL.
Thanks to Sal. Big win for Valley City State. We didn't get to talk about them much. They defeat Waldorf 14-7.
Yeah, Valley City State's undefeated, too. So, really, we're looking for that showdown against Dickinson State.
That's going to be really interesting. But before we get to that, let's tell you what to watch this week as...
Battle of the Cougars.
Yep. So, John, talk a little bit about Reinhardt Bethel here, real quick.
So Reinhardt from Waliska, Georgia, has to make the trip down to Southwest Tennessee, McKenzie, Tennessee, home of the Bethel Wildcats. Bethel loves using that H-back in their offense, and Reinhardt's a physical defense. It's whoever can control the ball between the tackles, like most games of football are. But, don't be surprised if Bethel gets some success going, especially through the air.
I really want to see Nolan Chalbe bounce back. They've looked a little shaky at times this season. Even if you take the Delta State game out of it, I've been high on Bethel for the last couple of years, and I'm still kind of waiting for them to put all the pieces together. Like you said, Battle of the Cougars this week. You got St. Francis playing St. Xavier. This is going to be a statement game for whoever comes out winning.
No, I definitely agree with that. The big thing for St. Xavier is you don't get too many Mid-East games just because you're on the Midwest side. So you're wanting to win this, and St. Xavier really wants to set themselves apart. It's not must win. Well, maybe it is for St. Xavier already being one down and in the Midwest. Only so many mid-state teams are going to get playoffs. But it's eager to see. But this would be the week I would want to play St. Francis, especially after they showed some vulnerability against Judson.
Absolutely. We hinted at this earlier. If you're Eastern Oregon, you've got to come out strong early against the College of Idaho. You can really put a little bit of distance between you and the rest.
If you win this game, it's pretty much, you're far and away in the lead of the driver's seat.
Yeah, I mean, you still got Montana Western. That's up there with a loss. But if you win,
you don't want to have a three-way tie like last year. How about that?
No, you really don't. They've already put away Carroll. Carroll's got 2 losses. You put away College of Idaho, and that's just one more notch to winning it outright. And then finally, I don't want to call this the battle for the third place in the KCAC.
No, because Avila is definitely right there. So is Southwestern. Southwestern's actually in the coaches poll top 25. They're one of those teams that haven't found a way in ours yet, but they're as most deserving of top 25 bid. Their defense is really impressive. I think this is a must win. Like we said, KCAC traditionally only gets one team in the playoffs, so every game in the KCAC is must win or go home.
Absolutely, and I know Avila last year, was really unhappy is a mild way of putting it.
Right.
They didn't get in. Look, if you want to get in,
Southwestern too.
Yeah, I mean, Southwestern took that loss, the loss late, if I remember correctly.
Right.
But if you're Avila, this is how you prove that you belong in the playoffs. Is being a team like this. So before we go, just want to talk about our patrons. You will notice, maybe we'll see. I had to decrease the font size.
We're getting more guys.
I want to decrease the font size so much that I have to figure out how to do a scrolling one of these things. I want to figure out how to do that.
We want movie credit, guys.
I want movie credits over here. So let's talk about our guys here. Ace Wellen, Cordell, Austin Steele, Jody Hoagland, Jerry Quickle, Alex Garcia, Eric Wingert, Nathan, Ronnie Atkinson, Fred Christensen, Shirley LaBella, Jeremy Vauble, Tricia Prescott, Roger Meyer, Dylan Swears, David, Bob Boone, Cliff Kreisel, Darren, Brett Crossell, Danielle Quinn, DSU Cone, Ian Sweeney, Blake Sentman, Keith, Charlie Simmons, Marty Seabold, Justin Cobb, and Dane. Thank y'all so much for what you do. Y'all make what we do possible. You make it so that we can get to the national championship game every year. We are thankful for all that we get to do. And it's all y'all that help us do it. So before we go, we got one question here so far. if you've got a question or a comment or anything like that, now is a great time to do it. Jonathan Perry says, how do you guys feel about NAIA schools playing FCS, I guess, or D2 or D3 early on? Do you feel it helps or hurts NAIA teams?
So I don't think it should hurt NAIA teams, but obviously it does in the polling. You see Reinhardt lost to Kennesaw State by a very close margin, and that Kennesaw State team still went on to play Georgia Tech and lost by a wider margin. But anyways, back to that. One, it helps NAIA teams because it pays the bills. It's a money game. I would encourage every NAIA team to get an FCS game. And, one, your kids want to play at the highest level possible. Obviously, you can't play an FBS team, but FCS is doable. And, kids grow up knowing those FCS teams. Not saying they don't know the NAIA teams, but your kids want to go play those games. And it's not like they're unbeatable either. You saw Lindsey Wilson a couple years ago give Presbyterian a run for their money. I know Cumberland's has beaten Carson Newman and has beaten Presbyterian. There's a few others I just can't think of the top of my head where NAIA teams have competed very well. And then Division II, to me, I feel like NAIA is on the same playing field as Division II. Some more scholarships are offered, but as a level of competition, if you want to really get ready for your NAIA competition, play up.
I agree. I mean, for me, as trying to rank these teams after that, I really tried to, on those weeks, watch for level of play as opposed to result.
Right, absolutely.
And really that's the hard line you have to draw when you're doing this. You do have to reward teams that win and punish teams that lose. But I think when you're playing in a FCS team or a D2 team, that you've really got to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt there on what you see. I would definitely encourage at least D2 teams, if not FCS teams. If I'm an NAIA coach, I'm going to go find. There are SP Plus rankings now,
right,
for FCS and D2. Go find yourself someone in your area that you think you can go up against. Now, I'm not saying that Faulkner needs to travel down and play West Florida, because West Florida's a juggernaut, and they're going to get their butt handed to them.
West Florida handled McNeese State, who is FCS. But I would encourage Faulkner maybe to go up the road to Alabama A&M.
Right.
Or,
play some of these HBCUs. Come down. Hey, y'all come down to play Florida A&M. We will be there, guaranteed.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, so, I really would love that, especially if you're an up-and-coming team. If
we encourage it, but we would like for the coaches poll not to punish NAIA teams that play. I think you can get punished for a Division II because I view that at the same level, but when you go FCS, 63 scholarships against 24 scholarships is just a little different. Yeah.
Now, if you're a team that is, I'll say, less than 5 years in playing football at the NAIA level, you need to schedule at least one money game because you need to build your program.
Right. I think that's a necessity. As long as you're not going to be an embarrassment on the field. So, for instance, when Savannah State was FCS for the first year and they played Oklahoma and Florida State back-to-back in 2013, that was, you don't want to put your kids in an embarrassing situation. But every coach knows where they're at.
Yep, played in HBCU. Thank you for saying that. There are a lot of HBCUs joining the NAIA.
I tell you what, HBCUs are a lot of fun to watch. In NAIA we have Langston.
You gonna be able to name them all?
Is Arkansas Baptist?
Arkansas Baptist.
Yeah, Arkansas Baptist is one. Florida Memorial.
Florida Memorial.
Edward Waters used to be NAIA, but they're on the transition to Division II. So right now we have three HBCUs.
As is Allen. And Allen, I believe, is also in
they're in Division II now.
Yes.
Yeah. So we currently have 3 HBCUs at the NAIA level and would love to add more, honestly. I think they offer a very unique situation.
And heck, if you go play an HBCU, I guarantee you
That atmosphere is going to be
that
crazy.
atmosphere, that band, you
Yeah.
will never forget.
Yeah,
it.
and people talk about the big HBCUs as far as like FAMU and Jackson State and stuff, but they really forget about the Division II HBCUs like there's one up the road, Miles in Birmingham and stuff like that. They forget those D2 ones. Was the one Morehouse? You forget about Morehouse,
Yeah.
So, but good show, guys. We really appreciate you supporting us. Thanks for the comments, and we will see you guys next week.
Absolutely.
So y'all are vacationing in the same spot y'all went a couple years ago?